Very good morning, students. As we have started with the 10th standard science chapter, that is control and coordination. So in this chapter already we discussed with the human nervous system, with the human hormonal system, different types of glands, what hormones they are secreting, what is their function, that all in detail we discussed. Students, like animals, even in the body of plants, we find the response to the stimulus. They are giving response to the stimulus. It may be to the light, to the water, to the soil. You're familiar with a plant called touch me not, how it gives the response. Like this, we find response to the stimulus even in case of the plants. Plants, are they having brain? No. Do you find the nervous system? No. Then how they are able to give response to the stimulus? They are able to give response to the stimulus because even from their body some chemicals secretes. As we are calling those chemicals as the hormones, so we find the hormonal secretion even in the body of the plants. Right? So what are all those? What is the name? What is their function? That all let us discuss. Okay?
Coordination in plants. All living organisms respond to the environmental stimuli, both plants and animals. So animals can give response to the stimulus with the help of nervous system and with the help of endocrine system. As they are having well developed brain, nervous system, so with the help of that they are able to give response to the stimulus. The same response to the stimulus we find by the plants also. As we know, plants are not having the brain, they are not having the nervous system, there is no spinal cord to give the reflex action, but still plants are able to give response to the stimulus. We don't find the movement in the plants, but we find the movement of the plant parts. It may be towards the sunlight, towards the soil, towards water. So, how these plants are able to give response to the stimulus without nervous system? Because as they are having hormones, means even they can secrete some of the chemicals. The chemicals which secretes from the plant body helps to give response to the stimulus by the plants. So, how is the coordination in class? Let us discuss. Movements of a plants. Movements are of two types, tropic movements and the nastic movement. What is the difference between tropic and nastic movement? Tropic movement means it is a directional movement. Means in a particular direction of the stimulus, the movement take place. Like sunlight. Towards the sunlight, the plant is going to grow. So that is the tropic movement. It may be towards the soil, towards the water. So these are all comes under directional movements. Next, nastic movement, non-directional movement. You can call it as independent or it may be the random movement. So growth takes place without any direction. Not only the growth, the response to the stimulus is without the direction. Like if you touch the plant, it is giving you the response. So there is no direction. It is giving independent response to the stimulus called as nastic movement or non-directional movement. Example for nastic movement, students. What is nastic movement? Just now we discussed. If it is not depending on the direction of the stimulus, then it is called as the nastic movement. So the best example is the Mimosa pudica. Commonly we'll call it as touch me not plant. All might have seen this plant. This is scientific name is touch me not. So if you touch, what happens? The leaves will start folding up. So that is called as nastic movement. It will not consider by which direction you are going to touch that plant. Only it will consider the touch and the leaves will start folding. So this is an example for nastic movement. Mechanism of leaf dropping in Mimosa pudica. So if we touch that plant, if you touch the leaves, what happens? There is a change of water balance in the cells. Because of that, it will give you the response. So when you touch the leaf, the cells which are present in the leaves, they will lose the water and they will become flaccid. They will become flat and you are taking the response as the folding of the leaf. So this mechanism we find which comes for nastic movement. Coming back to tropic movement or directional movement. So this movement depends upon the direction. See, one example we are discussing here. You might have seen some climbers like pumpkin, cucumber. These are all the climbers. What is why these are called climbers? Always they will take the support of some other plants. If some tree is there near that, it will take the support and it will grow. If one some stem is there, or you might have kept one stick or something, it will take the support. There we find the structure called tendrils. There we find the structure called tendril, spring like structures you can see in this picture. So with the help of that spring like structure called tendrils, it will take the support. Which side support is there, no students? That side it will turn and it will take. So this we will consider as the tropic movement. Types of tropic movements. Plants can give response to the light, then that type is called phototropism. Response towards the gravity, geotropism. To water, hydrotropism. To the chemicals which secretes in their body, chemotropism. To the touch, thigmotropism. Like this, we find different types of tropic movements in case of plants. The first type of movement, phototropism. Photo, nothing but the light. Tropism, towards what direction? So if the plants are turning towards the light, that is called as phototropism. In this picture you can see window is there. From the window the sunlight is coming, and near the window inside the room you have kept one plant. So what happens there? The plant is turning towards the sunlight. From which side sunlight is coming? No, that side the plant, the shoot system is going to turn. So that is called as phototropism, and that too called as positive phototropism. What is positive? The shoot system of the plant is responding towards the light. So it is called as positive phototropism. There is one more type called negative phototropism. Negative means now the roots are responding to the light. By which side? Opposite to the light. So if it is opposite to the light, that is called as negative phototropism. The second one, that is geotropism. Geotropism means movement of a plant in response to gravity. It may be towards the gravity or opposite to the gravity, called as geotropism. Depending upon that, two types like positive geotropism and a negative geotropism. Positive geotropism, roots grows towards the ground, so that is positive geotropism. The shoot of the plant body grows away from the ground, that is negative geotropism. I think now you only can say this. Hydrotropism. Hydro means water. So if the plant is giving response, the growth response towards the water, that is called as hydrotropism. See that picture, the roots are growing towards the water, called as hydrotropism. Chemotropism, growth of the plant body towards the chemicals. What chemicals the plant body itself will secrete towards that. If the plant is giving response, means chemicals are the stimulus, plant what it is giving response, that one. So that movement is the response, that is called as chemotropism. See here they have given the example of flower. The flower, what happens there? The pollen tubes are moving towards the ovule through the pollen tube, right? Pollen grains are moving towards the ovules through the pollen tube. So this development of the pollen tube, we can take it as an example for chemotropism. Thigmotropism. What is thigmotropism? Plant is giving response towards the touch. Best example like climbers again. So climbers, they will take the support of a plant. It may be some stick or something support. So first it will feel it with the help of the tendril and it will take the support and start climbing. So this is the towards the touch, called as thigmotropism. Movement of the plant body we discussed, so many types we discussed. This all takes place with the help of the chemicals which secretes in the plant body, called as the plant hormones. In the animal body, how we find the secretion of the hormones, same like even in the plant body we find the secretion of the hormones. They regulate for the plant growth, development, giving response to the stimulus. For all that, those plant hormones helps. And these plant hormones are also called as phytohormones. You can call them as a plant hormones or phytohormones. So which are all those phytohormones? Types of phytohormones: auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid, and ethylene. Let us discuss about these plant hormones and their functions. Both auxins and gibberellins helps for the plant growth and development. See, auxins, they helps for growth of the stem, growth of the root, it may be the cell elongation, right? And apical in the sense the tip of the plant. So there you find which helps for to increase the length of the plant body, right? So it helps the roots to develop when there is a stem cut, like that. Totally we can say the development of the plant body, it may be the cells, it may be the root, it may be the stem, any part of the plant body to develop that, auxins helps. Next one is gibberellins. Even these hormones helps in the growth of the stem, for the seed germination, for the bolting, means production of the flowering stem, and to develop or for the formation of the flowers, right? For all this, gibberellins helps. It induces parthenocarpy. What is parthenocarpy? Development of fruits without fertilization. Without fertilization, we find the formation of the fruit. So for that also it helps. It helps for the genetic dwarfism, to develop the dwarf plants genetically. For that also it helps. And it breaks up the dormancy of the seeds. Dormancy of the seeds means lack of germination of the seeds. There is no germination of the seeds although the favorable conditions are applied. So to break this, even gibberellins helps. So these are all the functions of auxins and gibberellins. A plant hormone like cytokinin. Cytokinin even it helps for the growth of the plant body. Like we can say it is present in the areas of rapid means fast, where we want the cell division, formation of the fruits, the seeds. In that area of the plant body we find cytokinin. It promotes the cell division, it helps for the cell enlargement, and helps for the germination of the seeds. So these are all the functions of cytokinins. Next one, abscisic acid. So this is a bit opposite to the auxin, gibberellin and cytokinin, because it inhibits in the sense it stops, it controls the growth of the various parts of the plant body. Like it is going to inhibit the cell growth, it may stop the cell division, it causes the dormancy of the buds and seeds, just opposite functions. It induces for the wilting of the leaves. Wilting means drying up of the leaves. It closes the stomata. So these are all the functions of the abscisic acid. Next one, ethylene. So ethylene is a gaseous plant growth regulator. See students, abscisic acid and ethylene are the growth, they will control the growth regulators. These are another three, auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins helps for the growth. Okay, so ethylene plays a role in ripening of the fruits, right? So ripening of the fruits is the function of the ethylene. Like this we find the different types of the plant hormones which helps for the growth, which helps for response to the stimulus. Side by side, few hormones, few chemicals will control their growth and development, right students? So this is all about plant hormones or coordination in plants. Take down today's homework students. Name the plant hormones and mention their functions. Okay students, thank you.